describe, especially when you arrive during night time. We arrived, my first visit was Umrah, and we arrived before Fajr. We did the Umrah, Manasik al-Umrah, and then we prayed the Fajr behind Ali Abdurrahman al-Hudayfi, As-Sajda wal-Luqman. It's still in my mind. I will never forget it. Very nice. فإن
in our time was Sheikh Abdul Aziz al-Baz rahimahullah making dars in the Kaaba. Every morning after Kaaba we sit down, listen to the dars of
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So it's really a very nice visit. Jazakumullah khair. Inshallah, I will not take long time. It's too much information. I will make it brief. This is do you want me to tell you a joke before we start, just to refresh you? Okay, inshallah. سيدنا عمر said روح القلوب ساعة بعد ساعة. صح سيدنا عمر؟ فإن القلوب إذا كلت ملت. You need to refresh your heart so you don't get bored. So there was this tough teacher, religion teacher, comes to a class. They kept moving him from one school to another because he was very tough teacher. So he goes to this class and looks at them like that and he said, "What's your name? Stand up." He said, "My name is Ibrahim." He said, "Read Surah Ibrahim." So the student starts reciting Surah Ibrahim, but he doesn't memorize it. So he starts yelling at him, being angry at him. He pulled his ear anyhow. So he punished him. Next, then he looks around. He said, "What's your name?" He said, "Yusuf." He said, "Read Surah Yusuf." Again, the student starts being hesitant, doesn't memorize the whole story. So he starts yelling at him, pulling his ear, punishing him. And then he looks on the right, and there is this a little tiny boy. And he said, "What's your name?" He said, "Imran, but my nickname is Kawthar." So anyway, Jazakumullah khair. Inshallah, this is the third session of 3. The first was general guidelines. The second session we talked about specific health problems that we need to address or pay attention during Hajj. And we said Hajj is really a very tough journey. Yeah, there is a lots of mashaqqa. You need to take care of yourself. You need to pay attention to things, especially if you have medical problems. And we said in this session we are going to mention or enumerate the certain things you need to take with you if you are planning to do Hajj. And there are common things that are going to happen, so we are going to pay your attention to. First of all, if you have medical problems, you are on medication, and we mentioned that before, please take your medication with you and put them in an organizer. You know, there's maybe a week there. Put your medication in this organizer that helps you take your medication 2, 3 times a day, without mixing them. And have also with you a backup medication. We have several people who lost their medication or lost their bag or their luggage didn't arrive, and then go figure out. They have clinics there, but their medication are different than ours in the United States. Plus, if you have hypertension or diabetes, you have already been maintained on certain medication. You don't want to start experimenting new medication. So have backup medication if you go to Hajj. Common medication you need to have aspirin if you have headache or stuff like that, and Motrin/Advil. You might have a sprain, standing, walking, stumbling. You might get injured there, so preferably have Motrin 800 milligrams, which you need prescription. But if not, then try to buy the over-counter 200 milligram, and then you have to take 600 or 800 milligram 3 times a day after food. Don't take it on an empty stomach, or you can use Advil. I think ibuprofen 800 milligrams is much stronger than Advil, but that's a personal experience. You need to take an antibiotic. If you don't get sick from there, I will be really astonished. And I tried, I managed until the last day, and then because you are exposed to all different kinds of bacteria. Every one of us has built certain immunity against certain strains of bacteria over years and over time by getting sick or whatever you got from your mother when you were a kid. So over time we build immunity against whatever certain strains or species that live with us or we live with. But once you get going abroad, there are other strains we do not have immunity to it, so there is a higher chance you're going to get sick, mainly sore throat or upper air infection. And if people are compromised, they might get pneumonia, and I have seen, or bronchitis, part of the post-Hajj syndrome. So it's good to take some sort of antibiotics and have low threshold to start these antibiotics, especially when you are there. Very crowded place. People recommended to use a mask, but some people under wara', they don't want anything that have khiyata, sewing in it. But there are masks that does not have any suturing or any threads in it, like the TB masks.
It's not khiyata. Cover the face is not allowed. Like cover the head.
Not the head. No, on the mouth, on the face.
Even for women, it's not allowed to cover his face.
On the mouth.
If there's something necessary as a medical.
بس
من غير سبب يحط ماسك لا ما ده غطاء للوجه.
والله انا جزاك الله خير. يعني فالمهم that's one way if it's allowed or so some of the antibiotics you can take, and unfortunately most antibiotics really require prescriptions. So if you know a physician, mashallah, in the community we have several, you can ask them so you can write a prescription to take it with you. Though medication are accessible in Middle East, and I think if you go to a pharmacy there you can get I think whatever antibiotic you need, if I'm not mistaken. Recommended antibiotic, for example, Z-Pack. You can get a Z-Pack with you, which is 1 tablet a day. You don't have to worry about it. Or I really highly recommend an antibiotic, which from personal experience and other people's experience, called Avalox, 400 milligram once a day. Very powerful antibiotic. Only thing you need to take it at night because it can make you nauseated. Okay. People who have asthma, have your Ventolin puffs with you wherever you go, because you can get an attack because of crowdiness or stress can precipitate an asthma attack. You need your Ventolin with you. Don't leave it at the second or hotel, or so have it with you because you might need that. Other medication people might need is heartburn medication. Again, over the counter, there are different kinds. We can consult on that. Inshallah, we'll try to make a sort of a list and distribute it to whoever is interested or planning to go Hajj.
And the prescription for the antibiotics.
Inshallah.
Take it from the shelf.
Inshallah. A common problem, especially in men, and it's more common during summertime, is what we call balanitis. Skin friction, especially those people who have unnecessary excess weight. I don't want to say obesity because I want to get into trouble. So one way to do it, especially with libas al-ihram, there is no underwear. There is a high tendency that the thighs will rub against each other, and if there is sweating and stuff, people can have inflammation. Good medication for that is to over-the-counter, 0.1% corticosteroid. There are different preparations, and it helps you a lot. Or if you are going to have long walk, even put it prophylaxis. Have a small kit, band-aids and all. You can all put these things in one kit and take it with you. You need some band-aids. Small lacerations, you can have what we call dermabond, sort of like a crazy glue, or steri-strips. There are certain stuff that helps you if there is a small laceration. You can manage to suture it.
Everywhere in the world.
The what?
The one is
I think it's available in Europe and here. I'm not sure if it's available in our countries. But I mean, each hamla or each group, they have medical team. So I'm sure they have these things. So if the reason I'm saying to take these things with you is to be available with you in case you are away from your people. But most of the Hajj teams that leave United States, they have a dedicated health provider and a physician, so you don't have to suffer. By the way, people have already left for Hajj, right? So the fact you are here, I don't think you are.
Sunday, the last,
oh, really? Because I know lots of people who left.
Yeah, a lot of people go, but next
نعم.
آخر حملة إن شاء الله يوم الأحد اللي جاي.
طيب.
مستنيين الهالوين.
Right. جزاكم الله خير. إن أصبت فمن الله وإن أخطأت فمن نفسي. If you have any questions, I will be glad to answer.
We asked many questions for the ladies last time, but you said Dr. Muhammad Ismail will answer.
No, we did talk about تأخير menstruation. We talked about it last time.
Is that right?
Yeah. Abdullah, you are not paying attention.
طيب جزاك الله خير. The woman asking is not only one question. We have a lot of questions.
Right.
Ladies ask, I have feed freezing.
Breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding, yeah.
Yeah.
ترضع أطفال. فدي محتاجة انها يعني لو جالها افكشن جالها التهابات